Look at this stupid idiot. Look at this dumb idiot.
Good morning, Miplazer. My name is Vincubus, and this is TheAltPath. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. And it's time for a review of, the classic puzzle game. This 2011 Valve-published title, back when Valve still made games, Portal 2. Now, my experience with Portal 2 is probably a very common one, especially for people in my age demo, and it's another one of those countless titles that just sits in my Steam library and rots. But I will say, Portal 2 got more shakes than most. I've actually tried to complete this game on 4 separate occasions, mostly in my early to mid-teens, just generally getting disinterested after getting to the parts of the game that were a bit less structured. And having finally gone back to it now at the ripe old age of 23, I can't possibly imagine how I wasn't seeing back then the genius I am fully appreciating now. Its influence cannot be overstated, its quality can simply not be ignored, and its sensibilities are timeless. Which is why, with minimal hesitance and also with isolation from the mob mentality, I still find myself of my own volition feeling a complete and perfect 10 on this one. And here's why I think that. A lot of people will probably agree with this. Games have been getting better over time. The wild thing is that 15 years on, and nobody has Portal 2'd quite as well as Portal 2. Honestly, I was not too surprised to see that the single highest rated game on the entirety of Steam is Portal 2. Before even talking about the gameplay, this game's influence precedes it. When you go back and watch an old, maybe even a black and white film, and you hear a phrase and you're like, wow, I can't believe they were saying that all the way back then. And then you find out, oh, this is the thing that started that. That's Portal 2, but every 5 minutes. One of my biggest takeaways from this game actually was that FNAF hasn't had an original idea in 10 years.
Let's get to work. All I can hear is Portal. No, I'm not immersed. All I can think about is Portal and Pacific Rim.
Tone, story, characters, all of it. I assume we all know the gist. It's a walking simulator where you get a portal gun. You're stuck in this giant human testing facility run by this rogue AI. And while Portal 1 is the game that introduced the concept of real-time viewports into other parts of the room, which, side note, when's the last time you played a game and looked through a window and it hasn't had to render in over the course of 5 seconds? This shit's real-time. Do not forget that. Portal 2 is still a tech demo of sorts. Valve tends to make games whenever they advance their engine in a major way, and there's a pretty obvious segment in the middle where you're being led through a dark area. And even though it's clear what's going on while it's happening, that adaptive lighting does look really, really cool. In my opinion, the game still looks pretty fucking great. You're clambering around the wreckage of Aperture Science, one of the most detail-driven worlds I've ever seen. There's vines growing out of everywhere. Certain parts of the wall that are supposed to click into place sometimes just don't, and they just start clanking around while you're busy doing shit. When's the last time you played a game where the individual parts of the wall had their own animations? That's fucking crazy. There's other parts where you can just walk behind something, just tucked away in a corner, and you can see mad scrawlings all over the walls. And the robots that narrate your adventure don't even comment on any of this. If you go and check these things out, nothing happens. And half the secrets have no lore significance. You can just find empty office rooms with nothing in them. There's a fully compelling story that makes front to back sense without any of the lore. If I never found any of it, I wouldn't have thought anything was up. When's the last time that a game had hidden lore and wasn't trying to beat you to death with it? I can't tell you how much things like that matter to me. But what's a walking simulator without your goofy little companions? I still see animations getting made constantly with these two characters because their dialogue is fucking timeless.
What exactly is wrong with being adopted?
Lack of parents?
This game is so fucking funny. They sell you on the puzzles and on the crazy mechanics, but what really keeps you playing is just getting to spend time in the twisted annals of these writers' brains. From that fucking elevator to that stupid cube, every time a bird is on the screen, it's comedy gold, man. And again, when was the last time you played a game with writing so human for an entirely AI cast of characters? And the voice acting is so good. They got J.K. Simmons in this game. Whiplash J.K. Simmons. How does that man play such a good asshole, but never the same asshole twice? It's fucking mind-blowing. And spoilers, I guess. Aperture is a lot It's a lot bigger than you'd think. Abandoned porn is basically images of abandoned places that just make you happy. It's the reason why I don't hate all of Episode 9 of Star Wars. And dude, I felt like I was in a hot tub for the entire second half of the game. And you're just surrounded by wrecked machinery, stagnant water, deep guttural metallic groaning coming from these giant metal icospheres scattered in an endless spiral up to the clouds. And down there, when you're in the old Aperture, the logo on the loading screen changes. Dude, holy shit. When's the last time you played a game that was so much bigger than you could have possibly imagined, that didn't tap you on the shoulder like, we're hiding something, like The Lost Art of Keeping a Secret. Oh my god. And I haven't even talked about the puzzles yet. You know, honestly, now that I think of it, my dream Smash pick during the Ultimate Cycle was Chell. Just because of how fundamentally that portal gun would change the way that game works. It really feels like you're playing a 4-dimensional game. It cannot be overstated just how much freedom that gives you. The kinds of things that just become second nature, intuitive really, are crazy. You look at the game and think it's gonna be too obtuse for my puny little nugget brain, and I only got stuck like twice. One of them was completely my fault. I was just being a dumbass because I was like, man, if only I had a wall I could portal to. Too bad all I got is this goop that lets you put portals wherever it lands. Fuck, man. Another one was the only thing that I ever hear really levied against Portal 2, which is that there's a bit too much find the white wall. But if you're any level of good at looking for lighting cues, the game will probably tell you yes. And that was it. The rest of the puzzles were genius. They were smart, they were fun, and they were super intuitive. Again, when's the last time you played a game where the puzzles didn't feel patronizing or impossible? Sudoku, maybe? I don't know. In fact, the only time I can think of where my patience for the game started to wear a little thin, besides some of the audio cues being admittedly kinda dated, is there's this part where the game is like, 10 levels left till this big thing, 9 levels left, 8 levels left, and it keeps going down the line. And at some point during that chain, I was like, you know, 10's a lot. You probably could have gotten away with like 7. And then when it says 3 left, it literally yeets you into the end of the game. Dude, when's the last time you played a game that within 10 seconds of you going, shit, I might get bored of this, the game's like, uh-huh? I've said everything about the game at this point that I didn't like. And I haven't even mentioned the co-op campaign. And while the story of that might not be quite as robust, it might be more fun. The puzzles are that much more demented, the mechanics are that much more fleshed out, and the game smartly puts all of the puzzles where your life is in your friend's hands at the beginning, so you can get all the killing each other out of your system before the game gets hard. Yeah, co-op campaign's awesome, solo campaign's awesome, everything about the game is awesome. I got nothing else. It's iconic, classic, damn near perfect. A lot of games come out and don't age the best. Ocarina of Time being the only 99 on Metacritic. Really? But Portal 2 just is that. It's just... oh my god, dude.